Petco Park, a new beginning, let's go. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Baby said she wanna go to the game. Taught her how to say Padre gang. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Mitchell and Ness with the old school name. All of the homies holler Padre gang. Yeah, that.
And good day, everybody. Welcome to the Padres versus Rockies pregame show for June 11th, 2022. I'm your host, Ben Fadden, coming to you live before the Padres have two games today at Petco Park, one at 1:10, and then the other is going to be at 7:10. No Clev today. Thought we were going to get Clev on the mound, but he is on the COVID IL list along with Adrian Marhone. So Reese Kinnear, Ray Kerr are replacing them today. And then it was Brent Rooker who's going to be called up as the 27th man. Hope everyone's doing well. We'll preview both games here. And if you have any questions or anything, let me know in the chat. First game today. Starting off with yesterday. What a great win. A great night to start off, a weekend series against a team that you should beat. You have Joe Musgrove on the mound, and he pitches like Joe Musgrove, like he pretty much has all season long. 6 shutout innings, and then the bullpen comes in, doesn't give up any runs after Musgrove exits. He did not win the tic-tac-toe thing on the mound, which I'll talk about on the series reaction episode after tomorrow's game. He tied that, but he won on the mound during the game against former Pirates teammate Chad Cole, so that's all that matters. Manny with the home run. Crony came through. Nola, Grisham, Voit. Just go down the line. Everyone came through. So just a great start to this weekend series. The Padres are now 36-22 entering today's two games. Rockies are 25-33. Just a reminder, you can follow the Talking Friars social medias at Talking Friars on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I hope you subscribe to this YouTube channel for daily Padres content, pregame shows, postgame reactions, breakdowns, series reaction episodes, interviews. Try to get interviews every week. I am scheduled to interview a 1998. I don't know if legend would be the word to use, but pretty big guy from the 1998 season. Should be talking to him next week. And then I'm going to the draft combine on Friday as well. So that'll be fun next week. But obviously today, it's a bummer not being able to see Clev pitch. I think he was supposed to pitch game one. But today, game one, it's actually going to be Nick Martinez on the mound at 1:10. Morahone on the IL. He's not hurt. He has COVID. So that's the good news. Same thing with Clev, right? It's not like he's hurt. It's just that he has COVID. And then with Kinnear and then Kerr coming up. As for what they've done in the minor leagues, just looking at Kinnear's game logs here, he last pitched on June 7th. He went 2 innings, gave up 7 earned runs. Holy cow. Wow. He's given up 7 runs 1, 2, 3 times this year. Yikes. So maybe that's going to be a guy who pitches in maybe like a blowout situation. Hopefully it's in the Padres. It goes the Padres' way when it's the blowout. Let me look at Ray Kerr. I put out the bullpen usage chart already, including Kinnear and Kerr in there, taking Morahone off. And so I'll talk about that in a little bit. Ray Kerr, his last appearance was June 9th for El Paso. He was sent down and made his first appearance back in El Paso on May 20th, it looks like. His last appearance, 1 2/3 innings. He had 16 pitches, and he didn't give up a run. He had 1 hit. And just looking at his game logs, just looking at the runs, his last 5 minor league appearances into El Paso didn't give up a run. And then he gave up 1 run the appearance before that, then went to another 2 straight without giving up a run. So he gave up 4 runs on April 12th before he was called up. But he's been really good, it looks like, with El Paso. Just look at purely at the game logs. I'm not going to lie and say I watch Ray Kerr pitch every night in AAA. I don't. But Ray Kerr, based on results here, it seems like that he'd be the guy more likely to pitch today in a doubleheader or tomorrow than someone like Reese Kinnear would. And then Brent Rooker's called up as the 27th man. Maybe we'll be able to see him finally get an at bat today, right? Because they called him up when Will Myers went on the IL, and then he didn't get an at bat at all. They send him back down to activate a pitcher, which didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I thought that, okay, maybe they send down Steven Wilson or someone like that from the bullpen. If you're going to bring up or you're going to put a pitcher back onto the roster, you send a pitcher down. But that's not what they did. I kind of understand now looking back at it, like, okay, well, Rooker wasn't going to get a whole lot of at-bats, but at the same time, that move, why bring him up then if you know you're just going to send him back down, right? That didn't make a whole lot of sense. So it seems like it's going to be the same thing. I don't really know where he would get the at-bats being called up today as the 27th man, unless someone gets hurt, or they want him to play the second game or something like that. Because the lineups are out for this first game, and Nomar Mazara is in right field. Profar's in left leading off, and Grisham is in center field just like he was last night. He made a couple good plays last night as well, by the way. But for the pitching matchup today, Ryan Feltner, never heard of that guy, pitching for the Rockies. I wonder why. He has a 5.85 ERA. Nick Martinez on the mound for the Padres, a 3.99 ERA. He struck out 47 guys so far this season. Again, the first pitch is at 1:10. I gave away my tickets to this game because I have my cousin's graduation party to go to later today. But breaking news: Reese Kinnear is going to wear number 33. Not really breaking news, but I just saw that come across my Twitter. But getting back to Nick Martinez, I mean, yeah, Clev's not starting, but you still feel like you have a really good chance of winning today's game, right? Or the first of the two games today. Because Nick Martinez, he seems like he just gets out of every jam, and he's going to give you probably 5 innings, 6 innings, hopefully. And that sets up good for the bullpen. In fact, we can get to the bullpen situation right now. Give me 1 second. All right, here it is. So Taylor Rogers has not pitched in forever. Garcia didn't pitch yesterday, so they're both set up well to pitch one of the 2 games today. And then Steven Wilson should be available today. Stammen, I would think, would be available at some point today if they don't want to use Reese Kinnear or they don't want to use Ray Kerr. Again, I'd be more comfortable using Ray Kerr than Reese Kinnear just based on their performance this year in AAA. Nick Martinez, I have him in the bullpen. I just because he was in the bullpen prior to today's start. And he's going to go right back down to the bullpen, I would think, after today's start, because if Clev has COVID, hopefully, that's not going to knock him out for too long, right? It's only a start or 2 that knocks Clev out. So hopefully it's 1 start and Martinez just goes right back down to the bullpen, and I can keep Martinez there in that bullpen chart. So for today, I guess you can just disregard Martinez there being in the bullpen chart. But I think Rogers, Garcia, Chris Matt, Wilson, Stammen, yeah. And then Martinez is obviously pitching, but Kinnear and Kerr should be available today to pitch. So with Musgrove going 6 shutout yesterday, and then even the 3 guys that did pitch yesterday not giving up a run, not throwing more than 12 pitches, any of those 3 guys, because of just how easily it was to get through that Rockies lineup. The Padres, right now, their bullpen is in a very good spot for these last 3 games in this series and for this doubleheader today. As for the lineups today, well, in the first game, obviously we don't have the lineups for the second game, but Colorado has Connor Joe, Charlie Blackmon, Padre killer, and then C.J. Cron, Brennan Rodgers, Ryan McMahon, Jose Iglesias, Jonathan Daza, Sam Hilliard, and Brian Servin. Batting ninth as the catcher. Never heard of that catcher. And then the Padres, Profar, Crony, Manny, Voit, Haas, pretty much the same five you're going to see. Mazzara, that might have been the same top six as last night. Alfaro, and then Grisham and Kim. They are facing, see, I'm still blanking on, okay, Feltner, because I never heard of this guy. So it is a righty, so Grisham in there, that's expected. Alfaro's catching Martinez. So probably that means that Nola would catch game 2 with Gore on the mound. And then Voit, I liked what I saw out of Voit yesterday. I mean, it's obviously going to be swing and miss, but he had a good oppo shot to, I think it was a double off the warning track last night. And then Mazzara, I said it on the pregame show inside Petco last night. I love what I'm seeing out of Nomar, and he came through. I think he had 2 hits last night. I know he had 2 hits. I forget what he did his last probably at bat, but I know he had 2 hits. I think they were both to right field. He's now hitting .400 with the Padres this season. So good news all around there. Not a whole lot to talk about in terms of the lineups today. For the first game. And then what to watch for is kind of for both games. Who is going to play both games? You think Manny would play both games? Crony, Profar, maybe Hosmer, but Alfaro probably not. Maybe they have Alcantara play game 2 instead of Kim. I don't know. Same thing maybe with the Zokar over Grisham. Well, because the second game today at 7:10, it is a lefty on the mound. So, yeah, Zokar might be playing center field tonight in game 2. My Padre pick, by the way, let's go through both Padre picks just to knock that out. Yesterday I picked Crony. He went 1 for 4. So I'm 35-18 so far in my pregame show Padre pick. And then today, game 1. I'm just making this up on the fly today because the lineups came out a little late today. Well, they've never faced Feltner, so I'm going to go with Profar in game 1. I'll go Pro in game 1, and then I'll go Manny game 2. Game 2, I was going to go Manny regardless because that feels like the sure bet that he's going to play both games. And then when you look at the matchups against Kyle Freeland, who's the game 2 starter for the Rockies, Manny's hitting .346 off him in his career in 26 at-bats. So sign me up. And in game 2, I guess we can move into game 2 right now. It's a pretty good segue. Hopefully the Padres have their 37th win going into tonight's game. This game on Bally Sports San Diego, 97.3 The Fan, MLB Network for the out-of-market people. Mackenzie Gore versus Kyle Freeland. Kyle Freeland so far this year has a 4.53 ERA. 1-5. Well, you can't. The record doesn't really matter. The Rockies suck, but still 1-5, not great. Gore is 4-1, a 1.50 ERA. He has been amazing. 57 strikeouts. Coming off that amazing Brewers start, he shut out the Brewers, right? I think he has 15 straight shutout innings consecutively. He is the National League Rookie of the Year. I think he should be in the All-Star game right now. That's me not really diving too deep into the other starting pitchers in the National League, but when you have a 1.50 ERA, you have 57 strikeouts, you're coming off 15 straight consecutive scoreless outings, and you're able to hang in there against the Braves lineup, his first start, where he probably should have given up, 1 run, because that Ozuna double down the line was like a foot fair. Hitting his spots, I mean, the turnaround that he's had, I'll say it again and again and again, the turnaround that he's had from last year to this year has just been tremendous. And props to Niebla, but also props to Mackenzie Gore for just putting in the work, because Niebla wasn't able to work with him during the lockout. So he put in the work. He's the one that grinded and went from being sent from AAA to Peoria last year to now being in the big leagues and being the front runner for the National League Rookie of the Year. That is a tremendous comeback story right there. So game 2 is at 7:10. I hate that teams do this, that it's a split doubleheader, because now fans that are going to both games, they have to leave the ballpark and then come back into the ballpark. And the workers there, I think they have to leave the ballpark as well and then come back. It's just a long day for them. It's a long day for the players and the staff, everyone involved, just because you have to wait around for 3 hours between games, assuming that the first game goes like 3 hours and you have the 3-hour wait from 4:10 to 7:10. Just a long day. I understand why the Padres and other teams do it, because they want to get the revenue back from missing that game, which was supposed to be played, I think, at the beginning of the season. I think they're starting to make up those games that Rob Manfred said were going to be canceled, but he lied. He lied to everyone and said, "No, we're going to play 162 games." Why? Because that means that Major League Baseball and the teams get money. So he lied about that. They're making up those games now. Well, one of the games today. So that is why there's a doubleheader today. That game 1, anyone's going to that 1:10. It's a mystery giveaway. No idea what they're giving away, but it's a mystery giveaway. I assume that they're just leftover giveaways from past giveaway days that just haven't been used, that weren't given away. So I doubt that it's any. I doubt that they're just giving away new random giveaways. I feel like this is just a throw in. Oh, well, giveaways. Let's just give these away because we weren't able to give them away last year or this year. That's what I think it is. John says, the one and only show I'll allow myself nowadays. I appreciate that. Irie says, moving Will Myers to the outfield messed his knee and career up. All-star first baseman. Well, okay. Well, first off, he was going to be moved to the outfield. He's not really a first baseman. When they signed Haas, he was going to be moving to the outfield. When he played the outfield at the beginning of his career, he wasn't dealing with knee problems. So I don't think moving him back to the outfield did anything with his knee. I doubt that's the case. Irie also says Trent dug himself a hole that's going to be hard to get out of the batting average wise. Clutch hits here and there, but we can't have a starting center fielder finish the year at 200. Well, who knows? Who knows what they're going to do at center field? Is it going to be Esteury Ruiz who comes up at some point? He's doing well in AAA so far. I know he went 1 for 4 last night. I think he had 2 home runs the other night. So he's picking up right where he left off in AA in AAA. So that's good news. We'll see. We'll see how that center field position shakes out. If Azokar gets more at bats than Grisham, I think that they're going to continue to ride Grisham and give him any and every chance to move that batting average up and definitely get better offensively and improve and bounce back. He came through last night, so you hope that he builds on that. Irie says, I hope not, but do you think AJ Preller has the balls to use Joe Musgrove as a trade bait for a superstar if he's worried about his job? Heck no. What kind of question is that? Why would you use the best pitcher in the National League when you're trying to win a World Series as trade bait? If he's worried about his job, you keep Joe Musgrove because he helps you win games. And you're going to piss off the fan base if you don't keep Joe Musgrove. I can't even imagine if Joe Musgrove would be what would happen? What would happen if AJ Preller traded Joe Musgrove? We would go nuts. I know I would. That would be the dumbest freaking move ever. So no. That's not even worth talking about. No. Czar says Dodgers in big problems at Bueller's having Tommy John. He's having I didn't see that. I know he faced the Dodgers, or excuse me, he faced the Giants last night. I don't think he did good last night. Yeah. Buehler now has a 4.02 ERA. He sucks. They lost 7-2. So that's why the Padres, I think, are a game back going into today. Yeah, Buehler last night, 4 innings, 3 runs, gave up a home run. Yeah. He's not the same guy that he was last year, at least so far this year, that's for sure. And that Buehler, Tommy John, I did not see that. Hang on, I thought I just saw an injury update. Oh, he's heading for tests. So he exited Friday's start with elbow discomfort. Buehler says he's had Tommy John surgery, so he thinks the level of concern is a little bit heightened. It is what it is that happens in this game. A lot of guys in this clubhouse have dealt with stuff in their elbows. It's part of the game. I have all the faith in our medical staff and whatnot. But before we kind of dive into that, we need to know what we're dealing with. So, yeah, he might have it. If he does, I mean, you don't want someone to have surgery, but for the Padres' sake, that's great news, you know? Sochi says, what's going on with Tatis? Just delayed bone scans. Yeah, Irie said that in the chat there. Delayed bone scans. I don't think it's anything to worry about. I think the only time you're going to have to worry is until we get those bone scan results back and and the results don't come back the way that the Padres want them that they want them to. Let's say like they come back and the doctors say, "Yeah, let's hold off on swinging." Well, then that delays his return probably past the All-Star break. But right now, there's not really anything going on with Tatis. He was in the dugout last night. He's taking grounders, playing defense, running sprints. He's doing all that stuff. He just hasn't swung a bat yet. That's what they're waiting for. That's what they're waiting on is getting that bone scan which I think is going to happen on Monday now. It was supposed to happen last Monday. Now it's happening this coming Monday. So, yeah, that's the situation. All right, I don't see any other comments. Talk about Buehler there. My Padre picks today for anyone that missed it. Crony went. That was mine yesterday. He went 1 for 4. Game 1 is Profar. Game 2 is Manny. So doubleheader today. Nick Martinez and Mackenzie Gore because Kleb is not starting game 1. It's Martinez. Enjoy the doubleheader. Let's play 2. Have a good one, everyone. I'll be back with the post-game reactions and maybe clip some highlights for game 1. Part of it. Feel free to reach out. Did I just say Freel? Feel free to reach out at Talking Friars on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, on the YouTube channel in the comments. I appreciate it. Have a good one. Giveaways, I'll talk about that as well. Giveaways, maybe in the series reaction episode, or you'll see it on Twitter. Just at Talking Friars on Twitter, not Twiddle. Twitter. There'll be giveaways probably on a weekly basis, maybe semi-weekly, to be honest, coming up. So stay tuned for that. All right, see ya.